Allow me first to greet everyone, and of course the youth of Lanao Del Norte and Salimbago Youth Volunteers Alliance, and a universal greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Filipino youth are right here, on the point of greatness, brimming with idealism and poised to make the Philippines a better place. Over 100 years have passed since these words were written, and yet the challenge to you, the Filipino youth, is as relevant as ever. As young adults on the quest of discovering who we are and who we are meant to be, the rule of the nation building has been firmly placed in your hands. Mentors from generations before have done their part in shaping the nation and are grooming you, the Filipino youth, to be the next change agents. Today's generation of young people is the largest the world has ever known. 1 in every 3 people alive today is under the age of 30. And around 90% of young people are living in developing countries, mainly in Asia. It is trite saying that the future belongs to you, especially those dynamic, aggressive, and self-confident young men and women who have foresight. So much faith the greatness Filipino patriot and hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, had in the youth of the land that he dedicated to it his prize-winning poem entitled "To the Filipino Youth," and he called the Filipino youth, not without reason and justification, fair hope of my fatherland. At your present age today, you are already witnessing and experiencing the tragic worldwide COVID-19 pandemic causing global economic slowdown. Our country and the rest of the world have taken an economic downturn due to this pandemic. It will be challenging for us in the next succeeding months and even years. While this is a temporary setback, that despite the Philippines having one of the biggest economies at the start of 2020, the 3 unexpected crises that the country faced had a significant negative effect on the GDP. 3 crises that hit us: the Taal volcano's explosion, the COVID-19 pandemic, and of course, the imposition of the enhanced community quarantine that caused the lowest GDP growth rate. And this is the first time we experience a recession since 1998. Your rule, the rule of the youth in the years to come, is therefore even more important. In the economy of our country, we need you to actively be aware and be involved. We have seen many big companies folded this time. Youth can take an active role in demonstrating that livelihood, entrepreneurship in forms of small and medium businesses can indeed shape sustainability dynamics by participating in formal political processes and even social movements, and by constructing and contesting discourses. Joining cause, of course, like your movement, the Youth Lanao Del Norte and Salimbago Youth Volunteers Alliance, and other purposeful movement And like also the kabuhayang kayang-kaya movement that pursues in enabling and inhibiting sustainability-oriented policies that multiple scales. Ang kabuhayang kayang-kaya movement believes that it is high time that contributions of small and medium-sized businesses are not downplayed, that business sustainability should not be predominantly emphasized by large corporations. We need entry points to support more effective sustainability policy in terms of formal participation by demonstrating the need for decision makers to seek engagement of progressive livelihood in small and medium businesses or enterprises to accelerate sustainability innovation. I believe that when livelihood is pursued, no matter how small, but if happening in millions, it becomes a large thing and lays down the foundation of strong economic base. The youth participating in building our economic base can build the foundation for better social and economic future of this generation and the next. You are the future of this nation because, in the most literal sense, you will one day become the generation that leads this country. But you are also the future of this nation because our actions today will shape the course of tomorrow. In the age of the new media and exponential technological advancement, you have the capacity to do more, reach more people, and act earlier. But the caveat is that we must use these resources responsibly. It is important to remember that you and I are all part of the same nation, the Filipino nation. And once we come to terms with this and really understand it, it becomes easier to act in ways that mirror the depth of human dignity, to deal with each other with empathy and compassion. Please do away with crab mentality, an approach that is not at all underlying in our native culture, but something we have acquired from our colonizers. And let us foster instead our endemic sense of community, the spirit of bayanihan, in celebrating the successes of our countrymen. At the end of the day, the success of one is the success of everyone. And we need all the good people like you, the youth, that we can, in order to change this nation for the better. Perhaps out of equal parts frustration and hope, Dr. Jose Rizal asked, where are the youth who will consecrate their golden hours, their illusion, and their enthusiasm to the welfare of their native land? Fast forward over 100 years later, you, the Filipino youth of today, cry out. You are right here on the point of greatness, brimming with idealism and poised to make the Philippines a better place. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay po tayong lahat.